Did you know there was a man in history who fought in over 100 battles and never lost a single one? A warrior so feared that his name alone could end a war. But despite all his victories, he died with nothing to his name. His story doesn't begin on a throne or in a palace. It begins in the harsh, sun-scorched deserts of Mecca. Mecca was a crucible of tribal conflict. A place where honor was earned through strength and loyalty was everything. The desert wasn't just a home, it was a teacher. It taught him resilience, patience, and how to survive against impossible odds. From the moment he could walk, it seemed a weapon was placed in his hand. He trained relentlessly with the sword, the spear, and the bow. He wasn't just learning to fight. He was learning to become one with his horse, to move as a single unstoppable force. His father was a prominent leader, and Khalid was expected to be a warrior. But no one could have predicted that his skills, honed in the dusty training grounds of Mecca, would one day redraw the map of the known world. Before he became the Sword of God, he was one of the fiercest opponents of the early Muslims, a fact that makes his later transformation all the more astounding. At the Battle of Uhud, one of the most pivotal early conflicts, it was Khalid's military genius that turned the tide against the Muslims. While the main battle seemed to be won, Khalid, commanding the Meccan cavalry, spotted a tactical opening. A group of Muslim archers had abandoned their high ground position against orders, eager to claim the spoils of victory. Khalid saw his chance. In a breathtaking maneuver, he led his cavalry around the mountain, attacking the Muslim rear. The surprise was total. The chaos was devastating, and the near victory turned into a costly setback for the Muslims. It was a bitter lesson for them, but it was the world's first glimpse of Khalid's unmatched strategic mind. But history is full of twists. Years later, this same brilliant commander would have a profound change of heart. He traveled to Medina and embraced Islam, pledging his allegiance to his former adversary, the Prophet Muhammad. The man who had once been their most formidable enemy was about to become their greatest champion. The Prophet himself recognized his prowess, bestowing upon him the title, Saif Allah, the Sword of God. So, what made Khalid ibn Al-Waleed an undefeated general? It wasn't just bravery, it was a revolutionary approach to warfare. He could read the battlefield like a master chess player, seeing moves 10 steps ahead. He understood the psychology of his opponents, their fears, their habits, their weaknesses. He would analyze their formations and predict their movements before they even made them. His core philosophy was built on 3 pillars: speed, precision, and fearlessness. He was the master of the lightning-fast cavalry charge, using his horsemen to shatter enemy lines when they least expected it. Take the Battle of Wallaha, for instance. Faced with a much larger Persian army, Khalid used a tactic that would be studied for centuries. He deployed his forces in a formation that seemed weak in the center. The Persians, confident in their numbers, pushed forward, falling right into his trap. As they advanced, Khalid sprung his ambush. He had hidden 2 cavalry units behind the flanking hills. At the perfect moment, they charged, enveloping the Persian army in a devastating double pincer movement. It was a masterclass in deception and timing. This wasn't a one-time trick. Again and again, he used creative, unorthodox strategies that left his enemies bewildered. He used the cover of night, the unpredictability of the weather, and the element of pure, shocking surprise to his advantage. Generals today at military academies like West Point still study his campaigns, marveling at how he achieved so much with, at times, so little. He didn't just win battles, he reinvented how they were fought. With the title The Sword of God, Khalid embarked on a series of campaigns that are almost legendary. His battlefield spanned from the Arabian Peninsula to the doorsteps of the 2 superpowers of the age, the Byzantine and Persian empires. Every campaign added another chapter to his incredible story. During the Rida Wars, after the Prophet's death, several tribes rebelled, threatening to tear the nascent Muslim state apart. Khalid was dispatched to bring them back into the fold. In a series of swift, decisive campaigns, he crushed the rebellions, most famously against the false prophet Musaylima at the Battle of Yamama. It was a brutal, bloody battle, but Khalid's leadership held the army together, securing the future of the new community. Then came the conquests that truly cemented his legend. He marched on the Persian Empire, one of the most powerful forces in the world. At the Battle of Ulays, known as the River of Blood, his smaller army faced a massive Persian Arab Christian coalition. Through sheer tactical brilliance and the relentless will of his soldiers, he achieved a crushing victory. Perhaps his most audacious feat was his march from Iraq to Syria. To reinforce the Muslim armies fighting the Byzantines, he took a small contingent on an unheard-of journey. A 6-day trek straight through the featureless, waterless Syrian desert. No army had ever crossed it. To survive, he had his camels drink vast amounts of water, then slaughtered them along the way for his men to drink the water stored in their stomachs. He emerged from the desert as if from nowhere, shocking the Byzantine defenders and turning the tide of the war in Syria. This led to the monumental Battle of Khalid, though not the supreme commander, was the field strategist, facing a Byzantine army that outnumbered the Muslims by at least 3-1. He consolidated the fragmented Muslim corps into a single, unified force. Over 6 days, he orchestrated a brilliant battle of attrition, using his mobile cavalry to plug gaps, repel charges, and exploit every enemy mistake. On the final day, he executed a massive flanking maneuver that shattered the Byzantine army, securing Syria for good. In every battle, no matter the odds, no matter the terrain, he found a way. His name became a symbol of victory. Te Kajedim, the sword of God, drawn and never to be sheathed. But even the greatest legends are subject to the winds of change. At the height of his power, after securing historic victories, Khalid's journey took an unexpected turn. The Caliph, Umar ibn Al-Khattab, a wise and just ruler, made a difficult decision. He relieved Khalid of his supreme command. There was no scandal. Khalid hadn't been defeated. He hadn't disobeyed an order. The legend of the sword of God had become so immense that it risked overshadowing the faith it was meant to serve. So the order was given. The greatest general of the age was to step down and serve under a new commander. For any other warrior, this would have been a humiliating blow, a cause for rebellion or dissent. But Khalid's response was a testament to his character. He showed no bitterness, no anger. He accepted the decision with humility and grace, declaring, "I fight not for the sake of Umar, but for the sake of God." He continued to fight on the front lines as a common soldier, with the same ferocity and dedication he had as a commander. Years passed. The wars continued, but the sword of God was now fighting in the ranks, his legend quietly echoing in the background. Eventually, old age and the toll of 100 battles caught up with him. Khalid ibn Al-Waleed, the man who had faced death countless times, found himself on his deathbed, not on a battlefield, but at home. As he lay dying, surrounded by his loved ones, he looked over his body. It was a map of his life, covered in the scars of swords, spears, and arrows. Every scar told a story of a battle fought, a victory won. With a voice full of sorrow, he is said to have uttered his famous last words, "I have fought in so many battles seeking martyrdom, that there is no spot on my body left without a scar. Yet here I am, dying on my bed, like a camel dies. May the eyes of the cowards never rest." He had longed to die a martyr in battle, the highest honor for a warrior of his faith. But fate had denied him that final wish. The man who had conquered cities and defeated empires, who had commanded vast armies and reshaped the world, died peacefully. He left behind no great wealth, no palace, no throne for his children. His only possessions at his death were his horse, his armor, and his sword. So what is the legacy of a man who won everything, yet died with nothing? Khalid ibn Al-Waleed's story teaches us something timeless. It shows that true greatness is not measured by titles, crowns, or riches. It's not defined by how you die, but by how you live. His legacy isn't in material wealth. It's etched into the annals of military history and the heart of a faith he helped defend. You don't need a fortune to shape the course of history. Sometimes, the most enduring victories are the ones fought with courage, conviction, and an unwavering spirit. His story reminds us that true wealth is a legacy that inspires others, centuries after you are gone. Did you know this incredible story? Let us know your thoughts in the comments and follow our channel for more untold legends from history. Thanks for watching.